Hi everyone, welcome back to Behind the Pages with Maggie, breaking barriers one story at a time. Today I bring to you episode 24, which is the story of the Hunterman and the Crocodile, written and illustrated by Baba Wage Jakite. Now, before we begin, of course, I think it's just very important for us to know the message the author is trying to tell us before we begin reading so that we have a better idea of what the story is and what the meaning of the story is. So let's begin reading this. There was a time when Bamba the crocodile took a pilgrimage with his family. Hungry and tired, and far from the river, Bamba begged a passing hunterman to return them to their home in the water. "Mook," said the hunterman, "you crocodiles are very well known for biting people in the river. I will not take the chance." But through some surprising turns of fate, the hunterman finds himself deep in the river with his hand between Bamba's great jaws. Unfortunately, man has not always been so good to the earth, and neither plant nor creature will come to his rescue. With humor and affection, Wage masterfully retells a tale that is steeped in the voices and spirits of his own ancestors. And his bold ceramic tile paintings breathe new life and vigor into this age-old tale that teaches us the importance of living among, not above, all living things. So, without further ado, let's get into the story. There was a time when Bamba the crocodile took a pilgrimage to Mecca with his family. They travelled and travelled for many miles, but when their food and water diminished and then finished, they became very tired and hungry and could barely walk. Luckily, they found some sweet shade of a baobab tree and settled down to rest. Soon, Donso the hunterman was walking in the bush and was surprised to discover the crocodile family. "Bamba," he said, "why are you so far from the river?" "Good intentions brought us here, but our food and legs gave out," explained Bamba. "Can you return us to our home in the water?" "Mook," said the hunterman, "you crocodiles are very well known for biting people in the river. I will not take the chance." And with that, the crocodile wept and gnashed his teeth and swore in the name of all creatures that he would not harm the hunterman. And Donso finally agreed to carry them to the river. "But how shall I do it?" Donso asked. "Oh, that is simple," said Bamba, and instructed the hunterman how one carries 4 crocodiles on top of one's head. And Donso pulled some rope from his hunting bag and tied the crocodile's feet together. He stacked them, one on top of the other, very neatly, then hoisted them onto his head. Once at the riverside, Bamba the crocodile begged Donso to carry them deeper into the water, into the river, where the current ran strong. But when the hunterman did so, Bamba took Donso's hand between his great jaws and smiled. "You know I haven't had anything to eat in a long time," he said. "Wouldn't I be foolish to let you go?" The hunterman reminded Bamba of his promise, and they then argued at great length about right and wrong. Soon, an old cow came to the riverside to drink, and Donso begged her to help him, but the cow only said, "Mook, I will not interfere. Man does not respect others. Look at me. I spent my life providing milk and giving up my children to man. Now that I am old, man gives me no consideration. I don't care if Bamba eats you." Then The old cow turned and walked away. Dingy donga, with no guilt. Next, an old horse came to the riverside, and the hunterman pleaded for help. But the horse said, "Man is weak. I used to help him plough his fields and hold big loads, but I was only beaten for my helpfulness. Mook, I would be foolish to intervene. I should let Bamba have you." And after taking a long drink from the river, the old horse turned and walked away. Kitaba, 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 with no guilt. Next came a chicken, wondering what all the fuss was about, and Donsel told her. "Mook, mook, mook," she said, "you do not deserve my help. Man takes my eggs, my children, and when he is very happy, he and his friends feast over my body. Bamba, eat him, if you like." Ruffling her feathers and scratching up dust in the direction of the huntermen, she turned and walked away, cook, with no guilt. Next, an old mango tree that stood quietly by the riverside spoke up. "Man does not deserve my sympathy," she said. "Each season when I bear my sweet children, he takes them all. When he is tired and hot, he enjoys my shade. But how does he repay me? He cuts my limbs, and when I become too old to help him, he will surely cut me down and burn me. Mook, let Bamba eat him," she said, and she waved her branches in the breeze. Sha, 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 with no guilt. At last, Rabbit, the most clever animal in the bush, passed by. When Donsel begged for help and explained his predicament, Rabbit laughed out loud. "How can someone put such a big and long load of crocodiles on his head? I don't believe it's possible." "But it's true," Bamba insisted, and to prove it, Bamba and his family all came ashore with Donsel the hunterman and showed Rabbit just how it was done. When Donsel had tied the crocodile securely to his head, Rabbit said, "Ho, ho, ho, here you are, Hunterman. Now you can take your crocodiles home to your wife to make a great meal." Donsel was so grateful to the rabbit for his return of fortune that he invited him back to his village to join in the feast. As they neared the village, they found that Donsel's good fortune had changed once again. A fellow villager greeted them and regretfully informed Donsel that his wife had fallen gravely ill. The healer of the village had searched everywhere for the tears of a crocodile to help cure the sick woman, but there were none to be found. When Donsel heard this, he began to cry, for he loved his wife dearly. Then he lifted the heavy load from his head and addressed Bamba the crocodile. "Let these be the last tears any of us shed today, Bamba. I will release you and your family in exchange for a few of your tears." With this, the crocodile family shed tears of joy, which the hunterman gathered quickly in his drinking gourd before rushing home to save his wife. Donsel never forgot the lessons he learned from the cow, the horse, the chicken, the mango tree, and the rabbit. From that time forward, he was reminded people of the importance of living in harmony with nature and the necessity of placing man among, not above, all living things. Well, that is the end of the story. As you can see here, that's Baba Wage Jikite over there. I am so happy that you joined me for this episode. I think his story and the way he's able to illustrate the deep meaning of the story through his amazing and wonderful pottery skills is truly incredible. I believe that the author wants us to know that as human beings, we need to know where our place is in nature, and that we should not, as he say, live above all other living things. We shouldn't take advantage and exploit the resources that are basically available to us. Instead, we need to learn to live harmoniously in this environment, where we show respect to both the animals and all other living things, including the plants, so that we could in return, also have the respect back. Harmony is so important in this world right now. It's very relevant, and I hope that you would also choose to live in harmony, as the author suggests. Bambo the crocodile, and also Donso the hunterman, and everything else around him to do so. So, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Behind the Pages with Maggie, breaking the barriers, one story at a time. I can't wait to see you in our next episode. Goodbye for now.